Beloved, emphatically, beloved, friends and family, respected elders, wretched neonates, and indeterminate creatures of the night besides, welcome to this joyous occasion in which we seek to unite Jim Flood and Bunny Reed in glorious matrimony. I'm going to say a few quick words, because I'm really not the spotlight of this particular occasion, about Jim and Bunny as I know them. I've known Jim for a few decades, and I think everyone who's known Jim can say that one of the first things you think about when you think about Jim Flood is that he is a generous man. He is generous in that he builds a community around himself. He loves his friends and tries to make life fun and interesting for them. He is also exceedingly generous because he is a listener. His friends can speak to him and know that they will have his ear without judgment, without any sort of push towards a decision. Jim will be there. He is generous not only with his activities and interests, but with his attention and concern. By comparison, I've known Bunny Reed only a few years, but I think anybody who comes into contact with the explosion of creative energy that is Bunny Reed is immediately bowled over by how she impacts the world around her. Yes, she is brilliant and creative and has a way of drawing everyone into her interests in just a few short sentences of speaking with her. But I think most importantly, she is kind. I think you would be hard-pressed to find anybody who has a negative word to say about Bunny. So I asked them to tell me a little bit about themselves and about their relationship, because I wasn't really present in its formative moments, nor should I have been, I think. So my understanding is that they were first introduced at some sort of live action role-playing event. Some of you may be familiar with the term. It's not entirely new to me. And a dispute came up because it was an overnight weekend event in which both of them had laid claim to the same bunk. And apparently there was quite a spirited argument. Neither one of them was willing to give in. And somewhere along the way, Jim looked at Bunny and thought, you know, looking at them, I think we might actually get along. I'd like to flirt with this person. And so he invited them out to a Depeche Mode concert. And things seemed to take off from there, as going to concerts turned into one of their favorite activities together. Although no matter how generous Jim may be, he will never be generous enough to go to a Nickelback concert. But Bunny is kind enough to overlook that. They also apparently managed to overcome those disputes about sleeping arrangements, because within about 6 months, they were living together. And as it turns out, over the course of the COVID epidemic, a lot of relationships were tested, some for the worse, but they decided at that point that they were each other's forever person. And so they've continued to explore their interests together. They have 3 adorable cats, if you haven't met them, in Shmoo, Bandit, and now the little Void, who has recently come into the household. They can agree on a great many things, although there is perhaps some dispute about whether the Smiths or the Cure are the superior band. But one thing that can be certain is that anybody who observes their relationship knows that at the heart of their love, there is a light that never goes out. And I suspect, not to be overly saccharine, especially in front of this assemblage, that there's no question that anyone who comes within the radius of their love suspects that to some extent it feels just like heaven. So, the couple has already exchanged their private vows, so we're going to go through a simple exchange. So I'll turn first to Bunny, who will be kind enough to go first. Bunny, do you take Jim to be your husband in good times and in bad, in California sunshine and beautiful Pacific Northwest gloom, at full health and at critically low hit points, in life and on life, and until the final death? If so, please say I do.
I do.
Jim, do you take Bunny to be your bun wife in good times and in bad, in California sunshine and Pacific Northwest gloom, at full health and at critically low hit points, in life and on life, and at the final death beyond? If so, say I do.
I do.
My understanding is there may be rings. That's not your ring. All right. Jim, if you would, place your ring on Bunny's finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring, I thee wed. There we go. Yeah.
All right, and Bunny, if you'd return the favor.
Is that your what? With this ring, I'd be wed.
She got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with the power that is invested in me by the state of Washington, it is my absolute pleasure to name you husband and bun wife. You may kiss the bride. Ladies and gentlemen, Bunny and Jim Flood.